Welcome to Household Wizardry, where we make things out of stuff we can find around the house. Today we will be making a cat puzzle out of cardboard, dowel rods, and a few other odds and ends. For the cat puzzle, we will need cardboard, 5/16 inch wooden dowel and a 3-inch wooden dowel. I forgot my right sizes, so I have these. We'll see if it works. You need 3/8 inch nuts and 3/8 inch washers, paper fastener, Velcro stickers, utility knife, a cutting mat, which you see here, ruler, pen or pencil, hot glue gun and glue, a small saw, any kind of tape, compass, and a paper puncher. To start, you're going to need 2 pieces of cardboard of the same dimensions. One's going to be the top, one's going to be the bottom. These I have are about 17 inches wide and about 8.5 inches deep. You're going to want to make your shape big enough so that when the tumbler goes around, it doesn't tip over when your cat's playing with it. And then you're going to want to make some strips that will go across the edges. So obviously we'll need a 17-inch strip, and we make it about an inch to a half an inch wide, and then you're going to glue those around the edges. However, do not glue them on yet. We're going to glue those on later because we have to do some things inside the box before we can glue the whole thing together. Next, you're going to want to make a rectangle in your top panel. I was lucky enough to have a piece that has a cutout already in the middle, but you should make it about 3 inches across and an inch deep. Then for your bottom piece, in the same exact location, you're gonna mark that and make strips similar to the ones you just made in the previous step, and make a box around so that when you place the top on, there's a compartment in there so that a treat cannot get out into the rest of the box. You should now have a structure that looks like this. Next step is to create some holes in your top piece, so we'll change to that. So this is going to be the opening to a secret compartment. A little bit offset from that, maybe 3 or so inches this way, and then about 4 inches in from the side. Make some holes, and those are going to be holes you place your bigger dowel rod into. They're going to come up like this out of these holes. My bigger dowel rod is quite bigger than what I planned on using. So you're going to want to put that over the hole and trace around it. Since it's so large, we can't really use a compass right now. Make your tracing there on each point. Try to get it centered as much as possible. And then we need to cut those holes out. The method I'm using is taking my compass and making points along the circle edge, and then going back in with my knife and cutting it the rest of the way out. It's a little bit difficult to cut this part out because of how small the circle is. Even though it's a pretty large circle, it's hard to get your knife in there and maneuver it in a way that creates a good circle shape. So use your compass, poke some holes around the corner or the edges, and get it out as best you can. We unfortunately have to repeat that sort of step again by making these supports. So I have some rectangular supports here. They're all the same size, and what we're going to do is trace that hole again in two of these, cut them out, and then place them on top of the other two and trace the hole and cut that out as well. So we're going to have to repeat the hole cutting process 4 more times. Make sure your dowel rod will actually fit through the cardboard piece that you just cut. They all needs to fit through all of them, and then you can line them up and hot glue the pieces together. So you need 2 sets of 2 thick supports. If you have a piece of thinner cardboard, we're going to use that for the next step. Take the top panel for your puzzle and trace the hole onto the smaller or the less thick cardboard if you have it. And then you're going to cut out a piece bigger than that so it covers it. So go around it and you can freehand it, go around, and then leave a tab on one end. It extends a little bit farther because you're going to put a paper fastener here, and it's going to be a little door that flips one way or the other. So all you need to do now is trace that, outline it, create your shape, and cut that out. In that piece, take your 1-hole punch, and on the end that's a little bit extra, go to the middle and make a hole. You are then going to go over to your top panel and cover the opening. Mark where the hole is that you just punched as it was covered, and make a hole there as well, as best as you can. Take a paper fastener like this and place your door on top of the hole, and put your paper fastener through both of the holes that you just made. Flip it over and bend the fastener like that so that it keeps the lid on. The next step is to print out a hexagon shape. You can easily do this on Publisher. You want it to be about 5.5 inches across, and then connect the corners, opposite corners to each other to find the exact center. Now what you're going to do is take this template and make 2 cardboard copies of this, and then take your compass in the center and make a small hole. We're going to use the other dowel rod, the smaller one, so the holes in the cardboard will need to be just slightly bigger than your dowel rod. Now take your washers and put them over the holes, and you can hot glue those onto your hexagons. Make planks like this out of the cardboard that are going to go on your hexagon to make a barrel. You're gonna need 6 of those. I have a irregular hexagon, so I need to make the right width for them, and the length should be measured by placing it on your top panel, and you need to leave room on either side of the holes for the nut on either side, because the holes, the dowel rod will be coming out of here. So measure that yourself, because your measurements are going to be different than mine, and just make sure that you leave room for the nuts. On one of your planks, cut out a square about like that. It can really be anywhere on the plank, and it could be pretty much any size, but you're going to cut that out, and that's going to be where you're going to put your cat treats in. Then make a box or a square that's just a little bit larger, like maybe a 1/2 inch on either side larger, because you're going to put Velcro on there to attach the door. Put your Velcro stickers on either side of the opening, and then attach your door. And press down hard so the stickers really adhere to. On the panels for the hexagon, cut small holes on the panels in random places. These are going to be the areas where the treats can fall through. You can do that on all the panels or just a few. Next, affix all your panels to the edges of the hexagons to make your barrel. Make sure you have the washers on the outside. You can use tape to hold the pieces in place as you glue them. Might be a bit easier for you. Glue your hexagon together and put your dowel rod through the center. Use your small saw to cut into 2 pieces of 5 3/4 inch lengths of the larger dowel. Next, take your top panel and place it over your bottom panel to find out where you're going to glue these into the bottom panel. So you're going to put your dowels through the hole on the top panel, line it up with everything, and find out where exactly you're going to put those supports on the bottom panel so that everything lines up. Now go back and get your strips that you cut out in the first couple of steps and glue them around the perimeter of your bottom panel. Glue the dowel rods in place. Make sure they're straight, up and down, upright. Glue the top panel on. Hot glue the nuts to the inside top of the dowel rod poles that you glued in, like that. Now it's time to determine where we need to cut the dowel rod to make it fit into this structure. So we're going to match it up in here, and then we'll be done. And there you have it, your completed cat puzzle. You put treats in here, and your cat can have a ball trying to find some treats. Thanks for watching, and be sure to check out our other household wizardry videos.